This that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55, what's goody? Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. The mother shows spread fake news. We just call them broadcast. West, Joey, Sam, Shawn, Dawson. And you know that boy Higgy. He said he don't want no small fries. Tell them they better make them biggie. Yeah, you already know what we be on. We got the crown, we hold the throne. We throw the mails and you take them home. When they ring the bells, you know that it's home. The bar set, we setting the tone. If we set it, then set it in stone. Sit in the streets, set up your phone. You in the Cardinal sports zone.
What is up, and welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. My name's Jeremy Wallman, and yeah, man, I still turning the intro on. It gets to that last clip, and there's Coach KP on there, and what we had all once hoped would be a triumphant return home to return this school out of the ashes into prominence did not quite work out that way. That's being very generous, but needless to say, we were getting a new intro over the summer anyway by our guy. Gibby, he's I say world famous. He's Louisville famous at least. I know he's done some stuff in the NFL, but he's working on a new intro for us as we speak. That'll debut. Shout out to our guy B Sim who does our intro. Just to this day, we still have people hitting us up that are like, "Is that B Sim?" I'm like, "Yep, sure is. It's fire." We appreciate it. Shout out to all of our viewers. The chat line, the Mossy Oak Properties chat line is already off the chart. We'll get to y'all in a second. But let me introduce my co-host today. We got a full house today, and I love it when we have a full house. First off, we got our women's basketball correspondent. He is our football beat writer, and he's an all-around great guy. It's our man, Sam Baisden. Sam, what's good, bro? I can't hear you.
Yeah, you...
My bad. I said, what up, what up? I appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Are you, am I about to get you in trouble again?
No.
Okay. Also, we have editor, I guess you call it assistant editor-in-chief. He's the backbone of CardinalSportsZone.com, and he proofreads everybody's story. He's actually like the babysitter of everybody else. He makes sure everything's all nice and clean when it goes out on the website. It's our guy. He is the man of many talents, but not very many dates. It's our guy, Shawn Barber. Shawn, what's good?
How's it going?
And that's exactly why you don't have many dates. But I digress. Last but not least, it's the newcomer to the squad. He's a guy that I have been listening to here lately. He does a space on Twitter with his friends from the Power 10 crew. Shout out to them. He always has the keys to victory, and man, he needs a better barber, but it's my guy, Wes Keys. What's good, Wes?
What's going on, everybody?
Are you gonna throw that yellow flag on me today?
I might have to, because he's getting very technical.
I'm sorry. Well, tee me up then. Tee me up. That's all I can say. Look, again, y'all, don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, send us your questions on social. They'll come up in the chat line. Check on the graphic below Shawn and Wes to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on social media and the website as well, and how you can help support monetarily if you want to. Hit that thumbs up button while you're here on YouTube. Make sure you're watching on YouTube if you can. It'll help us out more than if you, I don't know the exact science behind it, but we get more traction, we get more views, we get a little bit more dividends. It's not much, but if you do it on YouTube versus the other ones, that's better off. We appreciate it. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors because I want to get our guest in here, man. He's one of my favorite people ever. I'm going to put a pause on that, though. Shout out to our sponsors, Barano's On Market, Fitness Market, Four Pegs Beer Lounge, the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters, Cherry Picking, Shoot 360 Louisville, and Mossy Oak Properties. And we got some big – I haven't even shared this news with you all yet. Some big news. I went to the basketball game last night, had a great time before the game, had a great time after the game. The actual game was just – it was a game. But – struck a deal for us that y'all are going to be excited about. I really like it. I'm really happy about it. And I can't believe I forgot to tell you all. But look, let's not make him wait any longer. He is from Louisville, Kentucky. the 6'4" male high school product, came to Louisville as a highly regarded prospect. He joined Louisville and helped lead the Cards to their first Final Four in almost 20 years. I don't know why I'm nervous. I've talked to Larry a million times in almost 20 years. Thank God there was no social media then, though, or no telling what would have happened. In 2003, LO busted on the scene for Louisville, worked himself into the starting lineup that year, and quickly become more of a fan favorite than he already was. His senior year would be one to remember, as he averaged 15 points per game, was 42% from the three-point line, and led the Cards to that Final Four on an amazing run. Probably, you would say that West Virginia game was probably, if you ask any Louisville fan, what is your favorite basketball game of Louisville's all time? It's got to be that one. If you take out Final Fours and championships, it's got to be that game. He was the first person retroactively that you looked at, you saw him on the court, and you knew he was him before that was even a thing. Everybody put your hands together for the son of the city, Larry O'Bannon. What's up, Larry?
What's up, man? I'm not sure how to follow that intro, man. I don't think I've ever been intro like that. That might be an all-timer right there, but
listen, that's
you guys having me, man.
Oddly enough, that's what I pride myself. Like, the rest of the show is going to be crap, I'm sure, but my intros are amazing, and I make sure. Even Dewan, I introduced Dewan, was that 2 weeks ago? And he was like, my God, dude, you did so much. I love it. I think he wanted me to record his outgoing message on his voicemail. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, my intro doesn't compare to his, though, I'm sure.
No, your intro was pretty good. I put a lot of work in it, man. How you been?
I'm good, man. How about you guys, man? I appreciate you guys for having me on.
No, man, we had to. It's been a long time since you were on the last time. This is the first time you've been on since we did the video version, which we appreciate all of our fine sponsors around town for helping us do this. For those of you all that don't know, I referred to him as the son of the city. That was a callback to our AOL Instant Messenger days. That was his screen name. That makes me feel a little bit old, but I'll pretend like I didn't just say that. And shout out to our guys, Higgy and Dante, the other two of the famous ALD trio. That was, when social media first started, that was a thing, and they were like the cool kids club. You wanted to somehow figure out a way to get your initial up there with them. It never worked out for me, but it is what it is. I love those other two guys a lot. Shout out to Dante. I know he's coaching. Is it Seneca or Shawnee? I always get those two.
Seneca.
Okay. And then shout out to I see Al Higgy. He's almost at every single home game.
Yeah, he is. That was back when we had too much time and a whole bunch of imagination for hashtags.
Absolutely. For those that don't know, Larry, tell everybody what you've been up to recently.
So now I just recently moved back home. I work in the University of Louisville Athletic Department. So help fundraise for football and basketball, help people with premium seats for football and basketball, and just in the development department for the University of Louisville.
Okay, and you were with the 50. You were kind of at the beginning of the 502 circle. You were a member, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was on the board for it.
That's
So
what I meant.
basically just one of the board members to kind of give insight and thought about how to form it, ideas and how to go about the best way to really go about fundraising and really getting a collective going. So, but I'm no longer a member of that. Once I got on at the University of Louisville, I had to give up my board position at the 502 circle.
Well, that was such an innovative thing. And obviously in the day and age of NIL, you're going to have a lot of new stuff in the 502. We had Dan Furman on, president of the 502 circle last week. He had nothing but great things to say about you and everybody else that has been, I believe Chris Redman. I think Danny Mosby has also been a part of that as well. May still be as well. We don't get to catch up that often. So I don't know if they're still doing things or they're not still doing things. I know Chris is, but great idea. Glad that you were. I mean, when you ask me, who are some of the former Louisville people that you want on this initial board, nobody speaks a winner like you, Larry. I mean, you've always been that type of dude. You've always been a businessman on and off the court. So great idea there. But again, we thank you for coming on today. And my brother, he hates that he's not here today. He's not feeling well, but he wanted to make sure that you knew, and this is 1000% sure. So those of you all that want to say, oh no, it was me, it's not. Me and my brother started the infamous, the very first Larry chant. Larry was at the free throw line, and we started chanting Larry, and that became a thing from that point forward. And he's like, "You've got to tell Larry, like, I don't get to do it." I believe he said it the last time we were on the show, but that was a while back, so he wasn't sure if we had said it. So he wanted me to go ahead and mention that. Joey, we hope you feel a little bit better in the next up and coming days.
Tell him I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk a little bit about the game last night. Mike James had 18 points. Brandon Huntley Hatfield added 17 and 11. Trey White had 12 and 6. And Caleb from Male High School, Caleb Glenn, was also in double digits with 15 and 3. He was the fourth card overall, double figures. I feel like he scored every bucket on a putback and one. It was amazing. He's not quite there yet, but he is on the cusp. Played well. The Cards did fall by 6 in a game that was kind of weird. It felt a lot closer at times, and there were a couple of times it felt like a lost cause because we were like down by almost 20 at one point. Not to mention allowing that into the half basket that ended up making it made a difference. But I will say this, and I'm not going to I know the second I take up for one person or the other, I'm going to get a million responses, and I don't care about that. Call me a clown, call me an idiot. It is what it is. You all tune in to watch me. You help pay my bills. Call me whatever you want to. But I was texting with Steve Rummage throughout the game from 93.9 DeVille, and that was the worst officiated basketball game I think I've ever seen in my entire life as far as the fouls they called on. Syracuse went to the line, I think, 36 times, and we went almost half of that. But they were calling, like, we were getting hammered on our end, and they weren't calling anything. And we were, like, giving them high fives on the other end and getting called. It was lopsided. I guess that's the better way to put it. It was a lopsided officiated game. At the end of the day, we shouldn't have been down that far to have to come back that far. But at the end of the day, though, we have done this all season. We get down, we come back. There's only one game that I know of that we fought all the way back, overcame, and secured the W, and that was the Florida State game. We were down, like, I think double digits with 7 minutes to go in the game and come back and got that one. There's been a lot of other games where it's kind of followed that same formula, but we just haven't been able to get over that hump. I feel bad because some of these kids are suffering through this, and you can tell also that a few of them don't care. But there are a few that I do talk to because of my position with social media and, of course, my friendship with both Kenny and Nolan. I know some of them on a personal basis, and there's a couple of them that are just heartbroken, and there's a few of them that are just like, all right, next game, where's my NIL money? And it just is what it is. Let me really quick, because I did have a question up for Larry next, but the comment line is just nuts right now. Dwayne Cross says, what's good, Card family? We'll go ahead and put these up on the screen for everybody. Brandon Johnson says, let's go. That's a little too quick. T. Will says, CSZ family, it was good to see you yesterday, 55. T. Will, it was good to see you as well. I'm glad Nolan could get you that pick, the pick with your son. Brian says, what's up, everybody? My cousin-in-law, I guess you call it. Matthew Dodson wants to know, is Larry as Louisville famous as Joey? Yes, he is 50 million times more Louisville famous than Joey. Thanks for the comment there. And that's, make sure I block him real quick. Brandon Johnson puts an expletive on the board, so I got to take that off real quick, but says Eric Crawford is sick of everyone's blank. Okay. Brandon Johnson says he grew up with B. Sim. He's a family friend. That's awesome. He's a good dude. He's coming to studio here with us a couple of times before the pandemic, and even once, I think, during the pandemic. Chad Brocky wants to know how things are going. We're all doing well. Cashmere, fellas, what's up, family? What's good? Brendan says, cooking West. I have to. That's like last night. I was with my guy, Perrin Johnson. He come up to say hi to me, and Nolan walked up and said hi to both of us. And I asked Nolan, I knew he knew Perrin, but I was like, hey, have you ever met him before? He's like, who, Perrin? I said, no, Brusher, because Perrin's hair was not brushed at all. And I was like, oh, it's Brusher Raymond. And they just both died laughing. Brother to brother says, Ayo, what's good, man? What's good, Alex? How you doing, bro? Charlie says, first time viewer, how soon before Josh announces it's over? Gosh, Charlie, that's a powerful question. That's a question I don't have the answer to. I don't know. I don't want to give you any kind of hope or dismay. I don't know. T. Will says, Nolan is a huge role model to me. My nephew was lucky it was your nephew, to get a picture with him. Very humble, generous. Blessings. Love Nolan and respect him a lot. Shout out to his family. Nolan, literally, now I'm about 10 years older than Nolan, but I grew up with Nolan because the Louisville basketball community is a close community. And I always had friends that played with Louisville. My dad and Kenny and Nolan's dad, Derek, they all kind of hung out from going to school. Like Dad would just overlap both of them. So it was 2 years with Kenny, I believe 2 years with Derek. However that situation laid out, I forgot the exact time. But yeah, I've always been around. I mean, Larry can attest to it. I was already up there on campus when he got there, watching over the nephew Terrence Farley. So Big T. But yeah, absolutely. Nolan, humble, great time before the game, great time after the game. Pretty much sums it up. Yep. And here we go. Here's all the Larry love. Look, I'm just going to go ahead and click through them. I ain't going to read them all. Larry. You are old. Okay, we're going to block that person out. He's now not allowed back in the show. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself old. I think I am seasoned. I've been around for a little bit, but I would never I can't start using the old word until I start seeing like wrinkles, or I can't wake up out of the bed in the morning and move. That's when I'll be like, all right, I'll give up to it. Let's see. Brandon Johnson says, Louisville Legend in the building. I used to live across the street from the O'Bannons in Schnitzelburg, Fort Hill. Okay. Measy says, what's up? Dwayne says, Larry O. Look, we got it's all Larry O. Larry O. I thought you turned into Ray Allen for the Ville fan. Absolutely. Absolutely. He was. I mean, great comparison there. Antonio Brown Jr. says, what's up, big cuz? And I'll let you respond to whoever you want to respond to, Larry. Go ahead. It's just all this.
Oh no, I'm just listening, man.
Okay, cool. Measy says, real fans like us who remember the Louisville highs of the 80s and the lows of the 90s get it. Man, preach. We will be back. Shannon, big sis Shannon says, love some Larry O'Bannon. What's up?
Yeah, I know the Rectum Wall family.
Our guy Chris Pointer in the building. What's up, CP? That dude. And okay, great question. So if y'all have any questions for Larry on the chat line, let me know.
I might need to change the angle on my phone because I can't see anything.
You can't see any of the chats?
I see the names popping up, but I can't see the comments.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Might need to change. There. Okay, now I just had to scroll up a little bit.
Okay. CP, I'm gonna tell you this much. I know he's a male bulldog too. He's kind of my big brother when I got to Louisville to play football, because and there's no stories I could tell on the air because they're all rated R superstar. But he definitely helped bring. I was a shy kid in high school. I was like, it's like one of those movies where they show the shy kid and you make him mad and he's like and he's able to just like the water boy maybe even a little bit. And CP helped get me out of that shell, and big reason I am the personality I have today. It's like we joked around the season premiere. We had Chris Redman, Ivan Green, Danny Mosby on here, and I told them, I said, I have to be an honorary male bulldog, right? Because I put up with all of you all for this long. And CP, he's one of the first that helped shape me to who I am today, man. I appreciate it. All right, let's get back to the questions. And if you do have a question, put it in the chat line. We'll get your questions answered. T. Will, I'll put your answer underneath this while I get to my question. Larry, the season is almost over. The fan base is sick and tired of being sick and tired. Not just
the hardest person I ever had to guard over a time in my career, Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is the toughest person I had to guard.
There you go. There you go.
That's pretty. Dwayne Wade was, man, by far toughest person on a day-to-day basis. Reese, I'd probably say Reese Gaines is probably the toughest person I had to guard just from a competitive standpoint. Reese's competitive level was just, man, so much head and shoulders above everybody else. Just a great player, probably one of the best closers that I ever played with, man. It was one thing I took away from his competitiveness and his will to close and to win. That was one thing that kind of rubbed off on me just playing with him for a couple of years. But Dwayne Wade was the hardest guy I ever had to guard. I tried to guard anyway. I guess I tried to guard him.
Right. Reese still thinks he challenges Nolan like weekly to one-on-one basketball game. Reese still thinks he is Reese from back then, and he may be. I don't know. Like I know Nolan can still hoop pretty well, and him and Nolan trade off. One game they trade wins every week, so he's still pretty tough dude. Let's see. Measy wants to know if you have any eligibility left. No, I think all the eligibility is out. What are the chances we get Carter Knox and DeJuan Wagner next year? I would say DeJuan Wagner is 0%. Carter Knox, I believe, is contingent upon KP returning, but I will not rule out that he could, if we get the right coach. And we won't talk about coaches with Larry on here because we don't want to in any way compromise his standing in the community with the coaches. I mean, we all have personal relationships with the coaches and players, so we're not going to do anything to jeopardize that. But I do think that if KP does return, that Carter Knox if he returns, Carter Knox 100% is coming. If he doesn't, I'm thinking there's an underground chance he may still be here, but I cannot. With him changing his fourth choice this week from it was G League to OTE, which is where he plays now. That just kind of makes me think that he's going back to overtime elite if KP. Again, that's my thought. That is not the thoughts and comments of Jeremy Wyman do not necessarily reflect what's going to actually happen. I'm given a ton. That's what makes this show so special. I'm very blessed to know the people I know and to be given the information I'm given. I'm told I can talk about some stuff. I'm told not to talk about other stuff. But everything I tell you all is something that is going to happen or was going to happen. Now, whether it does or not, because we all know in this business, Larry knows, I know, things can change on a dime when it comes to recruitment or just business in general. So that as of right now, KP stays, Knox is 100%. I don't think DeJuan Wagner ever steps foot on this campus at all. I know that Jay Williams said that he made a comment during the game that he was going to be here. I don't believe that to be true. Maybe he's got better information than me. I don't know. Dwayne Cross says, I remember when Larry went beast mode on Cincy when they used to try to punt. Absolutely, man. Those were the games. I miss playing Cincinnati every year. Like if you told me I could pick one team to resume the rivalry with, I would say Cincinnati 1, Memphis 2. I know that Marquette started to be kind of a rival in Conference USA and then into the Big East or that era, not necessarily into the conference, but nevertheless, yeah. So I want to give a quick shout out because I'm required to. Facebook line, B Will's on here. Appreciate that. Daniel Garcia, my guy. What's up? Terrell in the building, Brandon in the building, Chili Black in the building, Joey Thompson, Ray Riggle, Shannon. We've already shouted her out. And Martin in the building. We appreciate all y'all joining us. Got a couple questions left for UConn was a good one too, man. That's a great choice. UConn. Yeah, UConn.
I would say I was just tweeting about this the other day, and you kind of named some of the schools that I did. Cincinnati was a great rivalry, man. We would always, we would win at home, lose on the road. We'd always split with them every year. And then my last year, we finally beat them their place and beat them at our place. Marquette was always a great rivalry. That more so started between Tom Crean and Coach Pitino, and when Ellis got hurt and Coach Cream supposedly made some comments and just kind of fueled things between the two teams. So that was more of a recent rivalry. It's not like a long-standing Metro Conference type rivalry. But Cincinnati-Memphis is probably the top two. UCLA, that was more so, I don't know if it was a rivalry game, but it was more so a historic game between John Wood and Denny Crum and the two programs that were connected by coaches. So that was always a fun game that you played out of conference. But Cincinnati-Memphis probably the top two because you have a lot of fans that travel to those places. DePaul was, I wouldn't say it was a rivalry, but it was always a good fan destination because we had a lot of people that would travel to Chicago to watch us play DePaul too. So we played them this year. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way we wanted, but I would bring back Cincinnati-Memphis, man. Those were good rivalry games, man.
I love and I will say this. I remember, and I was just a kid, but I remember us playing UCLA every year, and it was fascinating to me because we didn't play a whole lot of big name teams. We of course we played the Smurfs from down the road, but other than that, looking back now, our conference gave off the aura that it wasn't that great of a conference, even though the teams battled. If you just went through the list of the teams that were in our conference, you'd be like, oh, well, but even back when we were growing up, Larry, FSU, Memphis, Cincinnati, Tulane, with Gerald Honeycutt and them when they first started playing again. Gerald Honeycutt and BJ, what was his last? I can't remember his last name, but they become like I want to say they weren't playing basketball for a while, and then they started up, and then like their first year we played against them, they were really tough. So all really good rivalry games.
Yeah, Charlotte with DeMarco Johnson.
Yep,
great player, man.
Sometimes you forget about the good old UNC Charlotte day. I try to forget it because they drummed us at home one year pretty bad. I don't remember what year that was. I want to say it was
with Rodney White.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. I want to say 99, maybe 2000.
Yeah, I was going to say between 90s. I know that me and my wife had just got married, so yeah, it would have had to been 99, something like that. I never stopped calling them Memphis State, says Chad Nitt. Never stopped that. Wario, I don't know what the real name is, but that's their Twitter name, Wario Speedwagon. Says, my friend Mark is listening. He's a huge fan. Can y'all give him a shout out? Yeah, shout out to Mark. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Guevara killed us from Charlotte. Hey, look, somebody else that killed us from Charlotte was Jalen Withers' dad.
Oh yeah.
What was his name? Was it Curtis?
Curtis Withers, yeah.
Curtis. I said Jalen Withers.
Yeah.
Did I say Jalen Withers or what? I said it right. Okay. Look, it's been a long day. But yeah, Curtis Withers, man, he killed us when he was. That's what makes you feel kind of more seasoned when you can remember a kid's dad. Now, I was still a little kid when that happened, but it was like, okay, I wasn't a little kid. I think I was 10 years old. I'm trying to help myself out and reverse age myself. Look, I can remember him killing us, and then I can remember Jalen coming here. And Jalen, great. Wish him the best of luck at North Carolina. I'm not really sure how good of a year or bad of a year he's having, but his years here, he was always very friendly with us here at the website, was willing to do anything as far as interviews and sharing and stuff. So we appreciate it. All right, Larry, here comes my question. I started to ask you this earlier, but then the text line started melting on us, so we wanted to answer a few of those. Season's almost over. The fan base is sick and tired of being sick and tired, and not just from the past 2 years, as some people will make it seem like it's only been 2 years we've been in some turmoil. It's been about 9 years that it's been one thing or the other, or another. What can you say as a former player and hometown legend to the fans that kind of help them cope with this, to get them to kind of calm down a little bit? Because like I said earlier, man, social media, I love it and I hate it, because I've met so many good people through social media, but then I also wake up every morning and see 250 people tagging Kenny Payne or Nolan or Danny and them, telling them to die, run off a cliff, anything stupid. What can you kind of say? Because you're a Louisville fan too. You're not only a former Louisville player, but you're a Louisville fan as well, born and bred. What do you kind of say to kind of help the fan base heal a little bit?
I don't know if I can say anything that help them calm down. That could help them heal, but I can definitely empathize with them, especially having worn the jersey, understanding what it means to represent the University of Louisville on the court and off the court. I hate to see the state of where things are too, so I empathize because I'm a fan now. I love going to the game. I love watching the guys. I love watching the university and supporting the university, and just, like I said, being a fan in the stands. So it's tough. It's tough to see things how they have been the last few years, especially since my coach Rick Pitino left, and it seems like it's been a black cloud hanging over us with a lot of different, investigations and what have you not. So it's good to finally get that cleared out. I think we can move forward with trying to get past the point of whether we can or cannot get the death penalty or not being able to play in the NCAA tournament. So I say that's a good thing now that we've kind of got that behind us to move forward. But to really, say something that's going to really
Fair enough.
calm you down or to heal you, I can't say that because I'm in the same boat with you. I'm empathizing and wanting to see this thing go the right direction and get back to where it used to be.
In your opinion, the black cloud that a lot of people just kind of brush it to the side. Do you think that it was a bigger deal as far as Kenny's troubles and hardships last year than people think? Because a lot of people will tell you, oh, we're in the age of NIL and transfer. You should be able to flip a roster in 1 year, which normally I would agree with that. But I don't know any other school in the country that was on death penalty's door, had recruits being negatively told when Kenny got here. 2 recruits I spoke to said they only picked the other school because they were told by the other school we were getting the death penalty and we weren't going to play. We've had illegal players bought. We've had the stripper situation. We've had extortion multiple times. We had a coach walk out on us at the end of the year. I know I'm forgetting some stuff, probably on purpose. We self-imposed of the 1 year with Damian and Trey, their senior year. But a lot of people will swear that none of that prior stuff made a difference. Your opinion, do you think, and I'm not even asking you to vouch or go against KP or anything. What I'm asking, do you think that is a bigger deal than most uninformed people on social media are making it out to be?
I think it's definitely a factor. I mean, just to kind of make it simple, just put yourself in the parents of an 18-year-old, right? And so you've got a child that is making one of the biggest decisions in his life and choosing where he's going to go play college at. He has aspirations of playing at the highest level. And so, every kid wants to play in the NCAA tournament. I know when I was getting recruited, that was a big thing for me. Whether you had, investigations or not, was your program were you likely to win and were you going to go play in NCAA tournaments? So when you look at it from an aspect of, like they can win 20, 25 games, it's not going to matter because there's a possibility they might not play in the postseason. That affects you, and not only when you think about it from yourself, then you think about, what other coaches and other schools that you have the potential to go to that you don't have to worry about anything. Yeah, I think that plays, a big factor into it when you put yourself in the parents of an 18-year-old and you want your kid to have every opportunity. It's kind of like, do you go here and hope for the best, or do you go someplace that, may be a better opportunity and more of a sure thing to where you get the opportunity that you're looking for? So I think when you look at it from that lens, I think that kind of explains it out to where, maybe it is a little bit more of a bigger factor than what most think it is.
I appreciate that. Again, everybody, we're on here with Louisville legend Larry. Too many L. Well, I mean, I think just the right amount of L's. L's up all the way. Larry O'Bannon, Louisville legend. Appreciate him joining us. You all, if you will get you all your final questions for Larry in the chat, we will answer every single question that we can. We appreciate his time. Don't want to keep him too long. Where are you? Okay, got that. If you don't want to speak on this, you're more than welcome to just say no comment. But we're going to speak about this if you don't. So if you decide that you don't want to speak about this, we'll pause this and we'll talk about it in a few. If we do make the change, there is a projected, allegedly list of guys that are being considered for the job. Names like Scott Drew, Will Wade, Jerome Tang, Musselman, Mick Cronin, Nate Oates, Dusty May. Is there a name in there that you have as a favorite, or do you not want to speak on it? It's fine.
I have a lot of respect for KP. KP's part of my fraternity. He's a good friend of mine. I wouldn't do that because, he's still the coach of our basketball team. And
absolutely.
So,
and that's why I asked you.
So
that's why I asked.
Until if something is to happen or were to happen, then, you can kind of cross that road, then, but, he's a great friend of mine. I wouldn't disrespect him or I wouldn't do anything like that to say while he's a coach at the University of Louisville.
Absolutely.
I hold him to too much of a high regard to do that.
Look, I appreciate that. And the only reason why I normally don't partake in this type of shenanigans, however, it was a hot topic last night, and we want to make sure the fans get to talk about what they want to talk about. So we will hold off on that for a few minutes. Listen, last comment I have, everybody that knows you and that follows me knows that I've always believed that interviewing or podcasting was in your future. We talked about this before we went live. The legendary WLKY Final Four interview will go down in history. I was going to pull it up and play it, but I was like, it's a long interview. But I will, after the show is over with, I will retweet it on my timeline. I've tweeted it out. It's amazing. It's got everything from it's got Larry O'Bannon first off, so you don't really need much more. But you got Francisco acting silly. You've got Otis, one of the most fun people I've ever been around in my entire life. Love that guy. And you interviewed Brandon Jenkins a little part. He got you laughing, and that was awesome. It's everything that you want in an interviewer, which brings me to my next point. You have started that. It's the Player's Perspective Uncensored podcast.
Yep.
Did you start that? My first question about that. Did you start that right around right while the pandemic was going on?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And so I started it in 2019. I had been thinking about it, but I had some time, obviously, with the pandemic. And my buddies and I, we always talk. A lot of us are sports, and so we don't really get a chance to sit down and talk until it's the off season, the summertime. And so we always have, good candid conversations about sports, about our different experiences that we have at the different levels and whatnot, and life and mistakes and things that, we can all learn from each other, man. And so I was like, man, it'd be a great thing to put on the podcast. And obviously everybody's schedule is different. So, that's what kind of formulated the idea. And so I just wanted to get on there and just kind of talk about sports, advice to athletes. And I had just started getting into bourbon as well. I'm like, man, I'm from Kentucky. Everybody talks about bourbon. I said, I've never really been invested in the bourbon, man. I said, so I started to take different tours, and it really piqued my interest. And so I said, man, nobody does a podcast talking about sports and talking about bourbon. So I thought it was just a different lane to go down, man. It's something that I enjoy doing. I haven't taken it to the level that you guys have with your podcast, man. You guys do a great job. It's more so something that I just enjoy doing and getting a chance to meet people and doing it. And also, I had so many other things going on. I had newborns. I was in school. I was transitioning from retirement. I was moving from Atlanta to Louisville. So I just had a whole bunch of things going on, man, while I was trying to do it. I mean, and I still do it now. I just recently kind of got settled in. So I started to back up. We just had Monique Reed as our latest episode, man. Great. Talk about a great, wonderful human being. So she was wonderful, man. But yeah, we get on there, man. We interview different guests, man. And so we have fun. We talk about sports. We talk about advice, financials, just anything, man, that people, athletes in particular, most likely that, just can grow from and take knowledge from. And we talk about bourbon a little bit.
It's been awesome, and I did get to catch your latest one. I always do my research, but I'm subscribed to you all anyway, so I watch them all. Who's been your? Because I can tell you who my favorite guests have been. Who's been your favorite guest so far? And I'm not trying to get you in trouble, because we know if we don't say Al Higgy, then he's gonna throw a fit about it.
Yeah, so I've had some few big names. Ray John was obviously one of the bigger names. Kerry Rhodes, probably my favorite one. Probably was the Samaki Walker interview, man. Just because he was willing to talk about everything from the 3 J's, Jimmy Jackson, Jason Kidd, Jamal Mashburn, because I really want to kind of get to the bottom of the rumor between them and Tony Braxton. And so he went in talking about the bets that he had with Kobe Bryant. So, man, it was a great interview. So that was probably my favorite one. But I've had Griff on there. Who else, man? I like them all, but I'd probably say Samaki Walker. Will Perdue, he talked about The Last Dance. Man, Man, I've had some great ones, man. Got a few more nice ones lined up for you guys too, man. But Samaki was probably my favorite one.
Samaki was a really good one for me too. I would say he was probably in our top. We had so many. I don't think that one ever made it to the podcast channel because we had a lot of technical difficulties. I think my SD card malfunctioned. We never did get to put that one out. But Samaki's always been like a little brother to me. Like, we had a lot of classes together at U of L. Just a great literally great person. When I was in the hospital last year, checked on me every couple of weeks to make sure I was okay. You can have good basketball players and you can have good basketball players that are good people. And Samaki, like Larry, is a good basketball. That's a great basketball player that was a great person. And I mean, we've known each other for amount of years and the friendship's still strong, man. I mean, he was definitely one of my favorites. I'll say football wise, gosh, I got to either go with Sam Madison or Deion Branch. They were both really good interviews too. But
Deion, Mike Bush, yeah, great. Peyton, Russ, man. It's been a lot of great ones, man. I hate to leave people out, but
yeah,
man,
it was a great one. I still got to get Russ, but Peyton's been on before, and he's one of our sponsors now with Shoot 360 Louisville. So we're gonna have him on very soon to talk about that. I'm looking very forward to that because I got a cousin that plays high school basketball that I'm wanting to kind of hook up with Peyton to get to get her tools sharpened a little bit because she's from a county school. They don't have a lot of that kind of training and stuff available down there. So gonna bring her up here and let her she only, I think the last 3 months of the season she averaged like 22 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 blocks a game. So got to find out if she's good because she's good or she's good because she's 6'4" and everybody else is like 5'2". So that could be a real thing. I've seen people, like, even when I was Terrence Farley, when I was his coach in the YMCA league, he averaged like, I think it was 36 rebounds, 42 blocks, and 3 points per game. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn when he was 9 years old, but he could block it. And we had to find out, is he good because he's 2 feet taller than everybody else? Or is he naturally good? And T ended up being a Division I basketball player and went on to play some pro ball overseas, which Larry is the king of overseas basketball. I think he's played more. I think Tejo's catching up to you now. But I think Larry has played the most overseas basketball than anybody else since I've followed it.
Let me see. Ahaji and Dante both got me. I played 15. I think Ahaji played maybe 16, 17. I think Dante's on year 18, 19, something like that. He's closing in on 20. Those guys got me beat, man. I shut it down to 15.
I don't forget about Dante, but here's the thing about Dante. I'll sit there, and he's played in a couple rec leagues with me, so we always get to catch up and stuff. But I'll think Dante is done, and then like 2 months later, I see his Instagram story, and he's partying with another championship trophy somewhere. So you just never know when he's done. But Juan is still going strong. So this will be.
He is.
And he's not just like, oh, I'm a filler player. He is the star of every team he's on. He's still playing basketball. That was my favorite part of the of your interview. I was trying to remember who else it was that caught my ear and that I remember about the interview you did with the Final Four team. Juan was very good. They all were very good, but I can still recite word for word what Francisco said during the interview and what Juan said during the interview. You asked him, was he going to take a charge? You asked Francisco, well, what happens if you have to take a charge? Are you going to take a charge from Ismail Muhammad? And Francisco was like, nope. And
Right.
the crowd went wild. Look, Larry, we appreciate you joining us. We appreciate you spending the time with us. Can you let everybody real quick know where they can find your YouTube channel? Because I know you can search it by the and you can also just search it by the name. And
so our social media handles is on Instagram, the Players Perspective Podcast. On Twitter, we are the PPU Podcast, and on YouTube, you can find us on the Players Perspective Uncensored Podcast. Most times, you just type my name in and it'll pop up, man. But a bunch of great interviews, man. We put them out, every week, every other week, man, with some of your favorite guests. So definitely give us a shout, man. And thank you guys, man, for having me on.
No, man. Thank you for coming on here. And anytime, look, I do the website. I'm at a point in my life where I just do the website and the podcast. I've been blessed with that. Well, and my health issues forced me to kind of do it full time as well. Anytime you need any help, anytime you need any promotion, let me know. Larry, I love you like a brother, and I'll be willing to help you out any way I can, man. I appreciate that. Look, we had Dewan last time, Larry this week. Who's next? Stay tuned, as we only have 2 more weeks of the regular weekly Cardinal Sports Zone podcast until we go into our off-season mode where it might be once a week, once every other week. If something big happens to happen over the next few weeks, we'll likely have to have some emergency podcasts. Make sure you are subscribed on YouTube. Make sure you get the notifications on Facebook or Twitter. We will have you updated just like always. Once again, Larry, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. I don't see any other questions. Do we have any other questions? Red State says, I remember all of us trying to recruit Samaki at the Derby Classic game. I remember that as well. I haven't let the other guys talk at all, and I apologize. Do y'all have any questions for Larry before we let him go?
I got a similar question to your first one.
Okay.
Seeing that most fans have the untrained eye come from someone who played at U of L, let's see if you could try to recruit those ones that want to kind of put the program on a back burner. Like, what could you tell the fans that, from your perspective, that's good, that's going on, that you see that is worth sticking around for, other than being from the city of Louisville?
Okay, let me make sure I understand correct. So people that have kind of put the program on the back burner, you want me to know what?
I want to give up on the program, yes. What are you seeing? What are you seeing on the floor that's like, hey, these guys are working on this, and this. Stick with them. They're getting better, things like that.
I wouldn't even say, before you even get to what's on the floor, I mean, like, man, a lot of people don't understand, like, just the support that they give, man, goes to so many other athletes besides just basketball, right? Because football and basketball ultimately are your big revenue sports at the university, but so much of what they bring in goes to your other non-revenue sports, like your baseball, rowing, volleyball, like other, some of your non-revenue sports. Like, the support for these big revenue sports goes to help all of our programs. So it's not just basketball that you're supporting all of the basketball programs, but just being a fan of the program, and I get it, man. A lot of people spend a lot of hard-earned money buying season tickets to come watch U of L play and to win. But I don't think there's a magic line or a magic cliche to draw them in. I think that the university needs to support the players more than all. The players need to support more than anything. I don't think you necessarily give up on kids just because things aren't going the way they want them to go, or the staff the way they want them to go. I mean, the program is the program regardless of who's playing and who's coaching.
Right.
I think you support the program hand in hand, and so I think that's part of the experience. I know, even though I go to the games, and even though we haven't won like we want to, I just enjoy the camaraderie of the fans. Just going to the games, even when we have good moments, laughing, catching up with faces and people that you normally see.
We lost Larry. He'll be back in a second. Look, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Higgy had a phenomenal question.
He did. I saw that too. I was like, dang, that was
I can't
good.
wait to hear this question. Okay.
Can't either, because it's rare you hear him say Higgy had a phenomenal question.
It's great. It's really great.
And depending on, we'll see what happened with Larry. He may have got a phone call. Larry O'Bannon, everybody. Just put it that way. Higgy, we'll get your question asked here. We'll see if I'll shoot him a text real quick. Great question, Sam.
What's funny is my ex-brother-in-law, the father of my nephew, he actually played in high school against Larry O'Bannon at Mayo. Larry O'Bannon was a senior, I believe, and he was a freshman or sophomore at, I believe, Iroquois by that point. He used to talk about Larry at that point in time. Larry was a dunker extraordinary. He said he watched him in warm-ups just dunk the ball and go, this guy should be in an NBA dunk contest. But that was a funny story that I remember my brother-in-law telling me, because that'd be back in the day when we would go watch Louisville in the tournament. We go try to catch them if they were near us in Indianapolis, something like that.
Women's basketball up 36-29 at the half. That's pretty cool.
Baseball is up, by the way, right now 7-1 in the. Let's see here. Looks like the bottom of the fifth inning.
How do we? Here's my question: how do we get to 10 wins if we only have 7 right now, or 10? How do we get to 10 runs if we only have 7 right now? We need to hit a couple more. This team offense, and we'll talk about that here in a second. I'm trying to get confirmation from Larry that he is or is not going to rejoin us. I'll go ahead and tell him no worries. We did answer all the questions. Let's get back on track here in a second.
Poor Higgy had a great question.
He did. And
maybe you can ask off the air and we can deliver the answer next week.
I may add, while I'm waiting for y'all to give y'all's input, let's go back and talk about that coaching list, and then we'll get back on track. The coaching list: Scott Drew, Will Wade, Jerome Tang, Musselman, Cronin, Oates, May. Wes, you've not got to talk yet, so we'll go with you first. Give us your, if that is indeed the coaching pool, give us your top 2. Give us your, this is who I really want, this is who I think we're gonna get.
That's tough. I would probably say that I feel like the person we're gonna get, more than likely, even though some are up and down about it, I feel like Wade could more than likely be the guy because he's more affordable. And
what do you say? I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Higgy, I'm bringing you in.
Okay. Cool.
For people who say, well, we don't want Will Wade, he's got a show cause. Kind of explain to people, if you know, and if you don't know, that's fine. But kind of, if Lee Newton says if we need to talk a fan on staying with the program during a down period, then we don't need them. A lot of the fans on social media, I say a lot, it's about 300 people that are very, very talkative, very, very active. And I respect everybody's opinion. I understand the frustration. I don't understand giving up on your team regardless. But I feel like Josh has put us in a pretty good position with football. Even though, remind me, I want to talk about football second years. It's not on my shot list. I did want to talk about it. But I think Josh is going to put us in a pretty good position to succeed regardless. I think the only way KP gets year 3, and I know I'm about to get a bunch of on the chat line, but the fact is there is a chance that he's retained. It's probably financial if that happens, or loyalty based. So whichever way Josh decides to go, I don't quite trust him like I trust Tom Jurich trust him, but he's a Jurich disciple. I feel like he can get there. He's done really good things so far as extending Walls, Bus Boom, McDonald.
Got the new locker room.
Got Braun signed up.
But I mean, it's no fault to you on that trust thing because Tom Jurich has been here for years. So that trust was built over the years. It's no shade to how you could say you don't trust him as much as Jurich because he hasn't been here that long. He hasn't proved it. Like he's done the good things since he's been here, but over the span of 3-4 years, it's different to 10+ years in a like a relationship or any friendship or anything like that. That trust builds the longer you with someone. So even though he's done great things, you still trust him, like you said, but he has to be here for years and years, maybe over a decade, to get to that Tom Jurich level of trust.
Sorry to cut you off, Sam, but you also have to trust him over the time that we had the big construction projects like Tom Jurich had before. You got to trust him over coaching searches and everything like that. Tom, we trusted him enough to do the coaches searches for us. Trusted him enough to be able to do the construction projects that he wanted to do for this campus in the city more than anything else as well. So I still trusted Josh to this day. As a student, when I was a student and stuff, Josh treated me with nothing but respect, and I trusted him with nothing but respect as well. But we have to trust him through all the processes that he has to do: coaching search, and renovations to the university, construction projects, anything that goes on through our university. I have full faith in Josh more than anything else.
So thank you for that, Higgy. Really quick, I want to welcome in JT, my guy Jason Wyatt. He played at Louisville with me. Well, he played. I watched. Stephen Harvey in the building with us. Daniel Thompson. Our guy JK, baseball extraordinaire and aficionado. I don't know
What's
if that's
up,
the right
JK?
word. Justin Kruger in the building, and Mr. Paige Sherrard is in the building. So Ben, welcome. Thanks for joining us. You're a saint. God bless you 1,000 times, and hopefully that the beautiful child you all had is flourishing and has more of your traits than Paige's. And I know she's probably cussing me out in the background, and it's okay. I love her too. But look, I was going to go onto some of the comments, and we'll get back to them. But Babu, our guy Babu, with the comment I wanted to, I was about to touch on this. Scott Drew is the one realistic home run hire that I think all the Card fan base would say yes to. He is the only home run hire in that list, and the only reason that if I'm thinking from all aspects, financial, program history, if I'm considering everything, that's why if they say KP's coming back for year 3, but we're going to get the home run guy the next cycle, I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with winning less than 10 games again next year. And if he wasn't, I'll go this far. If he is retained and does not go into January with at least 13, 14 wins, I don't think he's kept. I think they give him the smack down at the midseason. But yeah, I think that's the only home run option. I don't want a maybe again. We got the maybe with KP. It's not going to work. What's good, amigo? Says Steven. Scott Homer Drew. That's funny. IK in the building. What's up, Isaiah? I agree. If KP is retained, I have faith that Josh made the best decision for the basketball program given the circumstances and the coaching landscape. All we can do is support and pray for the best. I don't know that anybody else has said it better than that. I may have relayed that on different times, but that's the best way to put it. Oh, our guy Jeff left in the building finally. He is on JL time. He is here 56 minutes late, but it is what it is. And let's get to some of these comments. Broly 003 says, "Go Cards, beat Notre Dame, get that double bye." Chad Brocky says, "Yeah, those fans are a minority that can kick rocks." I'm going to agree with the fact they're the minority. Here's what I will disagree with. They're the minority as far as which lens you're looking at. If you're looking at somebody like Nolan, who gets on Twitter and there's 300 hate tweets, then it looks like the whole timeline hates him. Even though there's 100,000 people that love him or a million people that love him, but you don't necessarily tag people for good stuff on Twitter. It's a norm to complain. So that just to get a little bit of perspective there, sometimes it is what it is. Uncle Mark in the building. Jeff Leff said the kiddos were running him rugged. Scott Drew to the 502 says Quentin. Look, I think we all would be on board with that. But that's the only one. You tell me any of those other names, I don't get excited at the least. But did you give your pick out of those though, Wes? I know I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, bro. I said honestly, the person I feel like we're gonna get is Wade. I mean, the guy everybody wants is Scott Drew, but is he really like a realistic option? Probably not. So that would leave us with, like we said before, Wade, and to the utter dismay, guy at UCLA.
Oh God, don't bring him here.
Let's not put that into the universe. Mick is the prick. I mean, is not. Wait a minute. Throw the flag.
Not the pick.
Wes, throw the flag. I said he was the prick. Throw the flag, Wes. That was unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's church day, man. What you uneffing believable.
What? You're gonna talk to me about church and say that? That's messed up. Sam, what about you? Who's your pick?
Wes already kind of said it. I would love for Scott Drew to come here. But I kind of feel realistically, Will Wade might be, in terms of money wise, and how we can coach and how we can recruit, it would be a fit. It could be a fit. And then everyone talks about the show cause. Look, It just means that he can't really get any, I think, level 3 violations for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but a level 3 violation, though, is kind of like when former Cardinal Sports Zone member at the very beginning, Tony Williams, shout out to Tony, me, him, Steve, and this is, I don't know if this is documented, but there was a level 3 violation committed at a lunch with him, and that's how little the violation has to, I mean, if he accidentally slips up and says, somebody asked him about recruiting, he's like, oh yeah, man, Carter, I mean, the guy we're going after, that's a level 3 violation. So is it worth the accidental mishap is my question.
Here's
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The Will Wade, like where there's a Will, there's a Wade. I'm on the way. I'm ready to wade in the water as it is.
Wade brigade.
If you can have a conversation, if you can have a conversation with him to where he allows you to kind of pick one of his, because every head coach has their list of guys who they want for their assistants. If you can kind of say, hey, look, I know you have a show cause. This is the situation here. Can I pick one assistant coach for you? And that assistant coach that you pick has to be someone who's older, who's been in NCAA compliance, who can kind of coach him. Hey, this is that hard line you cannot cross, and this is someone who's with him, sort of like his right hand man the entire time, so that they help him walk without crossing that line. If he agrees to something like that, most definitely bring him on board. But at the end of the day, like you say, head coaches have their own list of assistant coaches because of how they want to run their system and how they want to recruit. He might not be on board with that. Then at the end of the day, then that's a decision Josh has to make. Like, hey, look, if he slips up, or you could put it in his contract, something like that. But it's a lot of different ways you can go about that. But realistically, I mean, I understand if we get Will Wade. Personally, I would prefer Scott Drew. Even though I know he's winning right now, fans got to be patient because it might take him some time too.
So, really quick, it is 7-1 at the end of the 6th. I think it's the end of the 6th, maybe middle 6th. I just got the tweet. Here's my only thing with Will Wade, because I am behind that. I think that if you pair him up with somebody like, who's somebody I know that's an amazing recruiter? Nolan Smith. A 1-2 punch like that.
Man, we thought we were getting that with KP and Nolan.
That is true, but we did. Let's save these talks for after the KP experiment's over, because I don't want to get him in trouble. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. It is what we thought we were going to get with him, and those issues were twofold, because not only did KP not get the monetary NIL support that he was supposed to get, then he also let the pressure get to him, and things happened to where he stopped taking advice from the coaches. I guess that's how we'll leave it. Quentin McCauley wants to know, okay, with Baylor being a private university, who knows what Scott Drew's buyout is? I don't know what it is. Do any of you all know what it is?
No, because it's not public record.
Okay. That's why he's asking. Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, but that is the good thing about the possibility of Wade, because his buyout, they gave him an extension, and his buyout is like 1.3 to 5 million, and that's it. And that's basically with that buyout and the extension, they're just gonna recoup all the money they paid him already. That's all it is, recoup.
And you got to think too, Drew is a Indiana guy. He's going to want to come home sooner than later as well. So
we lost Sam. Sam, where are you at? You just cut your video off, or is it your Fisher Price internet, or did somebody sneak back in the room? We don't know which one it is. There he is. Okay, cool. My only thing with Will Wade is he's having a really good season now at McNeese State in an inferior conference. Okay. He's made it. I think he looked the other day. He has lost in the NCAA tournament in the opening round game 3 times. I don't know how many times he has went past that. I forgot, but I do remember the alarming stat that he had been a 3-time first game loser in the NCAA tournament. I do think that he is one of the guys that's on the precipice of exploding. He's got everything that if you use the eye test, everything you want out of a young, new, hot, up and coming head coach. He fits he checks all the boxes, right? So he is somebody I wouldn't mind. I think Scott Drew is. I agree with everybody else. Scott Drew is the home run pick. There's nobody else on that list at this moment. Ask me in a month after the tournament's over with, and I might be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe how Nate Oates led his team all the way through and upset everybody." I don't know. A lot of the other guys don't really have a whole lot of a sample size either, other than Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin has been to the Sweet 16 3 straight years. As much as I dislike him, last year he lost in the Sweet 16. The year before he lost in the Sweet 16. The year before he lost in the Final Four. His resume is hard to argue against. His personality just would not be embraced by the Louisville fan base, the Louisville media. Fabian, what's up, man? Josh True says, go with Will Wade, keep Nolan if he wants to stay, which Nolan does want to be here. I will ease y'all's minds there. He does want to be in Louisville. And they are a force on the recruiting trail. Louisville would be scary go Cards. Louisville would be everything that we thought. As you all know, and I don't say this as a flex or anything, but Nolan's first assignment was at the EYBL in Orlando, Florida. I happened to be vacationing that week. I applied for credentials. I was able to go and observe. All the top players wanted to talk to Nolan. All the top players' parents wanted to talk to Nolan. That's when we got Trenton Flowers pretty much. That's when we started talking with that's when he started talking with the New Jersey trio, which he pretty much had 2 of those 3, and something happened. We won't discuss it publicly. And well, actually, at one point we had all 3 of them, and something went awry. But Nolan got in his introductory presser and said he wanted to walk into the camps and stuff like that and had people shiver in fear when they saw that Louisville Cardinal on his chest. And that's exactly what happened in Orlando, Florida. And that's exactly what it will return back to if he is given a chance to stick on with the next regime. We don't know that. I mean, there's still a regime here, so we don't know if there is a new regime. But yes, Nolan and Wade to me would be the power couple that we wanted. I don't know that Nolan and Drew. I do know that he would probably work with him, but I don't know that I'm as worried as I am because Scott Drew, he does recruit at a high level from time to time, but he's in Texas with that oil money. He's in Texas as the Nike basketball flag bearer program. Can he do that here? But that's going to be the question with everybody. Can they do it here?
Well, he's also got Scott Drew likes to recruit from transfers. If you remember, his national title team was full of transfers.
Yeah.
He's a transfer portal guy, which will be
So is he the basketball version of Braum?
Pretty much, yes. Okay. That's the way to look at it.
Shout out to him, though. He just landed top 10 player VJ Edgecombe for next year. So that's another thing to look at. He's the next head coach.
Who's also from the Bahamas.
Who's also from the Bahamas.
Sam, come on, man. Use your connections.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Hit him. Hey, hit him up. I know everybody in the Bahamas has each other's phone number. Under cuz 1, cuz 2, cuz 3. Hit them up. I mean, that's just how it is. They're family. They're one close-knit society, man. Babu says,
hey, on the Isley brothers time, bro. Come on. Get it right.
Absolutely. Look, Babu says, things are so bad. If Josh went to the big money boosters and said we have a shot at Drew, I think many will pony up. I don't disagree with that. I just know that 2 of the biggest donors are firmly behind KP, and that's going to be the deciding factor, I believe.
Unless you get some of the donors that we lost.
Well, that's
because we lost a lot of donors when Tom got fired.
Oh, look who decided to rejoin us. What's up, Larry?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Sorry about that, man. My phone died all of a sudden, man.
That's all good, bro. We were just wrapping up anyway, and it was like your connection disappeared, and I was like, all right, well, Larry O'Bannon, everybody. So yeah, we just wanted to, man, thank you for spending the time with us today and dropping all that knowledge. We really do appreciate it. Oh yeah, we did have one last question from our guy Higgy. Oh, he's in here now. We didn't want him in here earlier because you were here. I'm just kidding. His questions were 2 versus 2 game against Francisco and Taekwon. Who do you pick as your teammate?
As my teammate, me and Taekwon and Cisco. Probably me and Reese. Me and Reese Gaines.
All right, that's very
fun.
Yeah, that'd be a very fun. That'd be a very fun thing to watch. And his other question, because we already talked about your recruitment to Louisville in the first episode, so we won't rehash that. But his other question was, what's some new bourbon that the bourbon lovers in Card Nation need to give a shot?
New bourbons, man. You know, a lot of the bourbons, man, are, you know, it's a ton that are entering the market. A lot of your big brand names, what they're doing are they're just kind of selecting new barrels for each year. Weller's Antique 107 is probably one of my favorites. Stag Jr. Is one of my favorites, but it's probably a 2019 bottle. Maker's Mark RC Wood Finishing Series with the Virgin Oak Staves. RC19 Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series. That's probably one of my top ones, man. It's got like a vanilla flavor from the oak styles, man. That's one of my favorites.
That'd probably be the one that Shawn picked, just off the name alone. Have you tried Russ's bourbon, the Mr. and Mrs. Smith? How do you like it if you have?
I have. It's good, man. It's good. Russ does a great job with his bourbon and his bourbon company, man. You know, I support him. I haven't got all the bottles, but I've tried the red one and I've tried the black one. I haven't got a chance to try the green one yet. But Russ's bourbon is really, really good.
Awesome, man. Well, again, thank you. I know we tried to wrap this up earlier, but look, you got off the line while we talked about some sensitive stuff you probably wouldn't have been able to talk about anyway. So we appreciate it. We appreciate your time and can't wait to talk to you again, my man.
Oh, man, appreciate you guys for having me. Thanks again.
All right, Larry O'Bannon, everybody, for a 2-part interview in the same interview. You don't get that very often. All right. I heard the bloop, and I'm like, what? Oh, it's LO. Shout out to Sanchez, Uncle Larry in the building watching now. Look, this was supposed to be the halfway point of the show. We're an hour in, but we got to talk about our great sponsors. Bear Nose on Market. George and his staff will take care of you. They've got some of the best pizza in town. They really do. Great service. And don't just think about going there like the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast crew is, except Higgy, before next Saturday's season finale against Boston College, is it?
Yeah.
Boston College Saturday. They have non-Louisville events that you need to go there for. They have concerts. They had like Journey last week. Sam Hunt a couple weeks ago. They've got wrestling. They've got everything that goes on down there. They had like they got movie nights at the Yum Center for kids. Like any of that stuff. Make sure y'all.
Nice.
Yeah, any of that stuff. It's like a block down from the Yum Center. It's very easy to get to. Very easy to get to by foot. It's and the service is amazing. The food's amazing. Let them know we're on a trial run with them. So if you let them know Cardinal Sports Zone sent you, that may secure our sponsorship for next season. We'd appreciate it. Fitness Market, our friends Chris and Sarah out there have the best workout. We're about to get our workout. We're finally about to get the basement. So here's some big news. The basement's finally about to be remodeled here in a couple of months, but it's not going to be remodeled for the podcast. We're going to keep doing it right where we're doing it, which is okay. We like this area anyway. It's well lit. There's a TV in the background. It is what it is, but we're going to move all of our exercise equipment downstairs, and they're going to come out and help us design and place everything that we have. So we'll have our own Planet Fitness, but instead of the S's at the end of fitness, it's going to be 2 5s. So it's going to be a cool area. If you're my friend, we hang out. You want to come over and work out? I only charge $20 a month. I don't charge anything. I'm kidding. But they're good people. They'll give you stuff at great prices. Again, the key to all this, tell them Cardinal Sports Zone sent you. 4 Pegs, 1053 Goss Avenue. Our guy Chris out there, man, he's been doing some work, man. He's been going to a bunch of different festivals. He just had his show on which channel was that? Higgy? I know you know. Food Network. What was it called? Barbecue what?
Barbecue Brawl.
Barbecue Brawl. Do you know? I asked you earlier in the week to get some specials. Did you do that, or are we just going to go off the fly with this?
No, so they have a special right now for Lent in regards to a shrimp and fish po' boy, $18, and you get a pound of tots and along with a fish and shrimp po' boy. So I'll be up there probably Friday night
Pound
up
of
there to get
tots?
one.
Pound of
Yes. They also have their bourbon bacon jam back in season, along with other specials as well. Go see Chris and go try out their wings on Wednesday nights. All you can eat wings for $20, and also the ribs on Thursday is $25. All you can eat as well. So
it's really the only restaurant that I've been to since we've done this. Which obviously, if you're not looking for new sponsors, you're not doing it right. In the last 13 years, there have been only one other restaurant that I've went in and I've loved everything I've had. Shawn, do you remember which restaurant that was?
I believe I do. And
Okay.
I can name it.
No, it wasn't that place.
Oh,
That place was good too. I forgot it.
Yeah.
No, it was Griff's on campus.
Oh God, Miss Griff.
At Cardinal Town. Like
it's that hot brown.
Oh, yeah.
That hot brown was.
They had 12 different things. Like I literally went there for the last year. We were on 93.9 every week. Every weekend we go to lunch right after the show from 10 to noon on ESPN 93.9 The Ville on Saturdays. Then, not now, but and try something new every week. And it was a good 3 months before I even duplicated my order. And it wasn't because there wasn't something I didn't absolutely love more. It was that I tried something new and I was like, oh, well, this is good. If these cavatappi noodles with the Alfredo and chicken in it are good, let me try this catfish. Oh my God, the catfish and fries with cheese on them. That's amazing. Well, let me try the hot bread. And it was just like everything I tried tasted a little bit better than the one before, which was really, really good. So, yeah. But this place is that way. Everything I've had at Four Pegs is amazing. The Sidewinder fries, the Grippo wings, the brisket chili. Now, Four Pegs is a place I don't venture off too much because I found me like 4 things there that I love. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to like anything more than this. So I stick to about the same 4 or 5 things there. The macaroni and cheese is really good. Everything there is really good. So hit them up, 1053 Goss Avenue. Tell them Cardinal Sports Zone sent you. Collision Course Crew Tailgaters. It's almost time. It's behind the El Nepal over there off Crittenden Drive. Shout out to Bill, Garrett, Rhino, Craig, and the crew. It's almost time, man. We got spring game April 19th.
Oh man.
I don't know if they're tailgating for that. I would assume they are.
I'll text Bill right now and ask him.
What, Higgy? You know that, listen, here's how this show has worked for almost 2 years. By the way, our 2-year video anniversary coming up here in March.
Good grief.
Can't believe we've been doing the video version that long, but you've been on here the whole 2 years. And if somebody else is talking and you start talking, it cuts them off and it distorts you. So what were you going to say? So I'll stop talking so you can say what you're going to say.
I said I'll text Bill and ask him for us.
Okay, thank you. All right, I appreciate that. I don't know who did we lose? Sam again? Oh, okay, just a video point. Is Sam shooting like a soft action, like love movie? I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. He just keeps going in and out. He's looking to the side, so I don't know what he's doing.
No, the game's on, and I'm watching.
What's the score right now?
We're down 42-50. Notre Dame came out on fire in this third quarter, but man, these officials are absolutely hosing Louisville right now. They can't get a call, which is to be expected because we're in Notre South Bend. And and Muffet McGraw is there, so it's.
I didn't know where he was going. I heard Muffet McGraw. I'm like, no.
Yeah, man, it's ridiculous.
All I heard was Muff McGraw, and I was like, I didn't know where we were going there. Okay, so you got the update on the women's basketball game live as we're doing this. You're probably watching it on another screen as well. Cardinal's laughing, and then he said the refs have it out for us in the Ville. Babu, we'll talk about that in a second. Uncle Larry, keep giving us updates on the baseball game. I know it's on behind me. I don't have eyes in the back of my head. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to do a tailgate for the spring game, but make sure once the season starts, we'll be out there for 3 or 4 of the home games this year doing the show prior. We appreciate them giving us that platform. Cherry picking sponsor that is Sydney Smith and Nolan Smith's Juice Bar. It is a hoops themed cold pressed juice and smoothie bar inspiring you to take what's good. It is conveniently located at 828 East Main Street behind the local seltzery. Tell them Cardinal Sports Zone sent you for 15% off your order. Shoot 360 Louisville. It's a premier state-of-the-art basketball training facility with highly skilled trainers. Peyton Siva is one of the owners. Call 515-6556. Sign up for the women's clinic coming up on March the 23rd. And if you go to shoot360.com, you can pre-register for a free workout to try everything out. He'll be more than happy to get somebody, if not him, to set you up with a workout plan and get you to where you want to be. And last but definitely not least, Mossy Oak Properties and Hart Realty. If you're in the market to buy or sell farms, land, or recreational or residential areas in the state of Kentucky, let Paul know, or one of his team of professionals at Mossy Oak and Hart Realty. Let them help you with your buying and selling needs. Call Paul at 270-537-4422 or email him at pthomas@mossyoakproperties.com. Mossy Oak, we know land. All right, Sam, this is the part of the show that I had earmarked for you to give us a little bit of the rundown on the week that was Louisville women's basketball. We kind of know what's going on right now. Anything else happened this week that the good viewers would want to know about?
Other than you had Louisville beating Florida State earlier in the week, I think Thursday, on senior night, 70-55. You had Nala Harris and Olivia Cochran both with a double-double. Huge for Louisville to remain in a place for fourth seed and a double bye in the ACC women's tournament. They still have an outside shot of maybe hosting as a fourth seed, but as Notre Dame went up 10 just now, it's not looking good. But
still in the third quarter though, right?
Yeah, still in the third quarter with about 4 minutes in, and that's a foul that did not get called, of course. But if you watch this game, I'm surprised how we have to pay Coach Walter more, because I would absolutely lose it on the sidelines how obvious a lot of these calls are. I mean, you had Leaf just blatantly got elbowed in the face, no call.
They didn't go back and check that?
No, they didn't even check it. They did not check it at all. You had players getting pushed and things like that, and no call. But then you go up on the other side of the floor, Louisville puts their hands up, it's a foul call. And I'm like, it's no consistency on this end. But I think he has to keep his cool, because if he loses his cool, his team loses his cool. But I mean, absolutely give credit to the guy, because I would lose it on the sideline right now. But anyway, so with a loss today, if they do, they'll be the 5 seed, which is only a single bye, which is, I mean, not what they're used to.
Nope.
But it almost takes them out of hosting for in tournament anyway. But yeah, so we did celebrate 3 seniors. Nina Ricards, Kiki Jefferson, and Sydney Taylor. We also had 3 other seniors on the team: Lily, Marissa, and Olivia Cochran. Go do with that idea or that information as you want. I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah, so that's it for this week in women's basketball right now.
No, Olivia Cochran did go on Facebook and tell people she was coming back, so that was one good thing. Now, we told y'all that last week. That's when it happened, was last week. I don't know if that has progressed or regressed any. Don't know what's going on at the Louisville baseball game right now. It looks like it's still 7-1. I've got the live feed up. And they made the runner go back to second for some reason. They were in a pickoff play, and the guy threw it. Let's see what they do. We're live right here. Is he counting the run? Is he counting the basket? No,
Sam,
yes,
what
he
about-
did. He did. Everybody's advancing. Or did they just make him? Okay, no, they didn't count the run, but they did let the. I don't know why that just happened, but because he clearly overthrew the third baseman and it went into the dugout. So maybe there was something as far as the run rules are concerned. A dugout throw. I'm not really sure, but 7-1 right now. Man on third, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th for the Cards. They are trying to get those 10 runs I asked for. I appreciate it. Speaking of baseball, perfect segue. Last week we told you about the rough start and the Fire Dan McDonald LOL movement that has started, and about how we love the fact more people are watching watching baseball, but we want to keep the toxicity, keep that over in football. I mean, we'd like to not have it at all, but keep it over in football and men's basketball and women's basketball like y'all are. Just like keep it out of this. This is America's pastime. It is it's pure. It's love, and we're watching right now, and that is a foul ball. It's 1-1. Sorry, I love Louisville baseball. Shawn, we're gonna have to get out to a couple of baseball. I think they have like 11 in a row at home. But anyway, guess what? Oh, Babu is further along than I am, apparently. Oh, yeah, 9-1. I did not see that. Well, I'm doing a show, guys. Calm down. And that happened fairly quick. Another hit. Okay, 9-1. What's happened since everybody started pissing all over Dan McDonald and the baseball team? Excuse my language. 6 wins in a row, going on 7 now. 1 billion runs scored. Eddie King Jr. has continued his rise from last year, and freshmen Alex Alicea and Zion Rose have been amazing additions to this already stellar lineup. Sebastian Gongora has been everything I thought he would be when he transferred here for his senior year from Wright State. Just a good turnaround after the first 2 weeks of the season. The Cards have scored 94 runs in the last 6 games, and if my math is correct, 103 runs in the last 7 games and counting. Just phenomenal. The Cards have the last game against Youngstown State right now, and then they have a midweek showdown versus Morehead State on Tuesday, I believe, and then follow that up with 3 versus Northwestern next weekend, and then some more at home. Got a very rare midweek series, the Tuesday Wednesday 2-game series coming up the next week before they travel. So we'll have a week. Not this week coming up, but the week after, we'll have a rare 5-game week for Louisville baseball, and it's all leading up to the Wake Forest is our next away game. We decided it was last week it was a month away, so we're about 3 weeks away from the next time we step out on the road. All the games this year are free, except for ACC games and the IU and Kentucky rivalry games. They cost to get into. Make sure you get out there. It's free. It's fun. I know Wes will go if I hit him up and say, hey, man, let's roll. Shawn will too for some of the weekend games. Let's get out there, support the Cards. It's fun. It's definitely, even if you paid money, it'd be worth every cent you paid. It's such a family atmosphere. It's a good time. You can sit out there, crack jokes with your friends. And, it's a good time. Here we are, 1 out still, 9-1 Louisville. Man on first, and we got a pitching change because they've allowed 50 billion more runs this inning. But look, get out there, watch the baseball Cards. It's all free admission until ACC, correct? Yeah. Did I say something differently?
No, you said free admission for ACC, which is correct, and then the only 2
they
games,
charge for UK and IU as well, and I think Vanderbilt too. But we're at Vanderbilt this year.
Yeah.
Babu, that was my next point. The thing that kind of turned it around was Dan started playing. He changed his lineup. At the end of that 4-game losing streak, he changed his lineup, and in Game 5 of the season, he changed his lineup, and it's been all double digits. We didn't get to double digits yesterday. We scored 9, I believe, but it's been a home run parade. Not home runs even. Well, yesterday it was really cool because we had a back-to-back homer situation where the only thing I can describe him, and I've done this for a lot of people, is he is him, Eddie King Jr., inside the park home run. Was that yesterday or the day before?
I think that was the day before.
It was the day before. It was on Friday because we talked about it that night during SmackDown. Inside the park home run. He was heading for second base, and the outfielder was trying to convince everybody it was stuck. It was clearly laying right in front of the fence. And to his credit, Eddie King did not stop. He just kept on, and it flustered the guy so much it allowed an inside the park home run. The very next at bat was an outside the park home run, and we have runners. We have a runner on second, 1-0 count, 9-1. I'll stop doing that, I promise. But Dan started playing as freshman. It changed everything, putting pressure on the upperclassmen to produce. Once again, it will come down to the bullpen if we go far. We saw that yesterday, especially with us being up 9-0 in the ninth, or going into the ninth, and giving up 4 or 5 to a talentless no offense, Youngstown State team, which we beat like 400-3 this series so far. Yes, that was Eddie King that just stole second. He's gosh, man, there's a lot. We'll talk more about his game as the season goes on. I know he is somebody that Shawn really likes a whole lot. He reminds me. Let me see how I can put this without it sounding some type of way. I see a lot of Corey Ray in him. I see a lot of Devin Hairston in him, and I see a lot of Nick Solak in him.
Oh, Nick Solak.
Just power. He's a power guy. He's fast. Corey was fast, and he was a power hitter. Devin was more so. He was fast, but he was a swing at the right pitch kind of guy. Like he had a good eye.
The gap hitter.
Yeah, he was a good. He had a good eye. Nick Solak just assaulted everything that come across on plate.
Yeah.
You would think his name. Never mind. We're not considering him to be a coach here at Louisville, as far as I know. But yeah, that's how the baseball team is kind of no pun intended lining out right now. We're gonna get to some games. Cardinal Sports Zone will come to you live from a couple of them. We'll have some fun. And Chad Brocky and everybody else that's mentioned it, we're gonna get to it right now. Rapid fire. Happy belated birthday to Heavenly Goat Denny Crum. These are all written by Higgy. So if the words don't really sound like they go together, they probably don't. His birthday was last night. Yesterday couldn't quite bring home the W for him, but I do believe he is the one that helped us pull back within 4. Well, actually, I think we were within 2 at the very end of the game, and then they went on a little run of their own. Again, spring football, April 19th. Men's tennis sophomore Will Mayhew went 3-0 last weekend, earning ACC Men's Tennis Player of the Week honors. Men's swimmer. Can't really. Laya Sabursev dominated the distance events at ACC championships, earning gold in the 500 freestyle championship and 1650 freestyle runner-up. Men's basketball 2024-2025 conference opponents were announced. The Cardinals will have home and away series with Pittsburgh, Virginia, Florida State. We should have 5, so that's not all. We will host Cal, Clemson, Duke, Miami, North Carolina, Stanford, and Wake Forest. Maybe it moved down since we added conference members. I know last year we had 5 home and homes. I'll have to check that out. But the Cardinals will travel to BC, Georgia Tech, NC State, Notre Dame, SMU, Syracuse, and Virginia Tech. Women's basketball's conference opponents were also announced. Louisville's home schedule next season will be Notre Dame, Cal, Stanford, Miami, Clemson, Georgia Tech, NC State, North Carolina, and Syracuse. The road schedule will be Notre Dame, SMU, Pitt, Florida State, Wake Forest, Duke, Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Boston College. The big topic of today in the text line that we've not got to yet, but we're finally going to get to right now. Shout out to our guy, The Rock, who absolutely came back Friday night and went straight into vintage Rock form with his promos. I say our guy Rock because he's Louisville. Like he lived here in Louisville for about a year and worked out on campus with the football team that I was a participant of, but not a player on. My first year up here. So shout out to him. But Isaac Garindo turning heads at the combine yesterday, 41.5-foot vertical, first amongst the running backs. 4.33 40-yard dash, first amongst running backs, and a broad jump of 10.9. I do believe I saw a stat somewhere that said he had they used some sort of formula to grade all the players, and he had the highest. I think it was like he had a 99.9, whatever it's on my Twitter timeline. Check it out. Had the highest rated, whatever that formula is, had the highest rated score of all time. Do you remember what that was, Wes?
It was 99.9. I said 99. 9.99 out of a possible 10, I think they said. He literally topped all the way out.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was either. We're not hitting, but Chris Curry, our guy, we're not hitting, but these refs have eaten and defecated the whistle. I guess that means swallowed. Just a fancy way to say swallowed. Higgy would have never been able to say that word. And Babu wants to know, have they said how many spring ball practices will be open to the public? They have. I sent that to Shawn. I haven't seen that pop up as a story yet, but he's been real busy with helping people move and stuff. So there's been a couple things we've not got to get out this week. We apologize. We'll do better next week. I promise. If Zion Rose stays healthy, says Uncle Larry, he is a first-round lock. I don't disagree at all. Runners on first and second. It is actually bases are loaded. 2 outs. A recruit leaked it out a bit ago. Oh, okay. Bubba Ray says, "Come on, Shawn, make it pop." What? No, I'm not reading that any further. Bubba Ray wants you to make it pop up. I don't know. Throw the flag. What? There you go.
Get out, Bubba. Get out.
West throws a perfect flag every time. It's uncanny. Let's go ahead and put this up here so I don't have to keep looking down and being disrespectful. I apologize. As always, you can get on. You can have a cameo with anybody here at Cardinal Sports Zone and the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. The cameo account is under my name, I believe. Just look up JS Wallman 723, and you can request a cameo with any member of Cardinal Sports Zone if that's something that you like. If it's not, that's fine too. And my cousin Jonathan, I've been telling y'all about how he started up his Third Region podcast for Third Region Sports down in South Central Kentucky. They're doing their first video show tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Sorry, 8 p.m. Central time. So 9 o'clock tonight, our time. Just search for, and I know you're going to say, I'm not searching for that. He is the principal at Edmonson County High School. Their mascot is the Wildcat. This isn't Kentucky Wildcat. So search for Wildcat Alley. You can do that on Twitter. I believe it's the Wildcat Alley on Twitter. And I'm not sure what his YouTube, I believe it's the same. But check him out. Very interesting perspective. He's doing this with one of his students, kind of like he's wanting to start a podcast, kind of like magnet program down there. Not just podcast, but social media awareness, video announcing, stuff like that. And this is his first embarking on that journey. So we wish him the best of luck. And I want to give a shout out to his daughter, my baby cousin, Carrie Ann Williams. She her season ended on Monday when the team of the Bad News Bears came up against her, and they somehow she still dominated that game. She just I don't. It's high school basketball, so you don't want to say a whole bunch of negativity or critical things about them. So she did the best that she could with what she had. Can't wait for a junior season, and we're gonna get her up here to shoot 360 to sharpen those tools. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do next year, especially after the monster sophomore season she just had. Proud of her. We'll keep you up to date. We don't keep y'all up to date on a lot of high school people, but I don't have any more relatives that are in high school at the moment. So we'll bring them to you as we get them. Shout out to all of our fine sponsors again. Bear Nose Fitness Market, Four Peg Smokehouse, the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters, Cherry Picking, Shoot 360 in the Mossy Oak Properties, and Hart Realty. And the end of the inning on a pop-up. Hey, Bubba sat there and made it come true. Louisville popped it up. He wanted to come in with a bang. So does Shawn. Yeah, Uncle Larry. The inning's over. It is 9-1 bottom of the 9-1 top of the 7th. And that's Bear Nose on Market, just to clarify. Make sure you're out there supporting all of our photogs. I know TJ Barr did the season, his last basketball game of the season last night. We're gonna have Jeff and or Justin take over the last 2 games of the season. TJ has been a very valuable asset to us, and his latest photo gallery was released on CardinalSportsZone.com this morning, so make sure you check it out. Jeff Nunn, Justin Kruger, TJ Barr, they are bar none, no pun intended, the best in the business as a collective group, in my opinion. Sponsorship opportunities are easy. In the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see how you contact us for any sponsorship opportunities. We're looking for more sponsors for the fall season, summer and fall season. Summer season is a discounted package, so if you're looking into sponsoring something, but you don't really have a whole lot of extra overhead capital to put towards that, sponsors during the summer season, see how we can help elevate your brand and maybe sign on for the fall season. But we appreciate y'all. Check us out on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. You can see underneath Higgy and his beard how you can follow the website and podcast on all the social media outlets. And also underneath West is how you can, other than in the YouTube chat where you can do stuff like super thanks and subscribe and stuff like that. We do appreciate all that. But underneath West is how you can immediately donate to the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. So that way we can upgrade stuff like cameras and microphones and go on away trips for some games and stuff. And it just helps us out. We appreciate it. You can find the actual podcast not only on YouTube, which again, Cardinal Sports Zone 55 in the bottom right-hand corner. You can see that's where you find it. Or you can just search for Cardinal Sports Zone. You can find the audio version on over 125 different podcast avenues: Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, iHeart. Hit subscribe, like, hit the heart, hit follow, hit plus sign, hit whatever you got to hit to follow the show and subscribe to it. We appreciate it. If you've not listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, it's easy. Go back to cardinalsportszone.com, the place it all began. Check them all out. Go to the podcast drop-down menu, select CSZ Podcast, and you'll get them all. It automatically puts like the last 10 podcasts in there. Higgy keeps that updated on. He's supposed to keep it updated on a semi-weekly status. I don't know if he does or not. I assume he does because he said he would. So it is what it is. Shout out to everybody out there sharing the podcast. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And make sure you are tuning in to our guys, Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage, doing the Lord's work, 10 to noon, Monday through Friday on ESPN 93.9 The Ville. Shawn, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, my man.
At Elville, Shawn.
All right, Sam.
Baseboy124.
Wes.
West Keys _CSZ.
Who else? Oh, Higgy.
I am the Higgy.
He is the Higgy. And then also shout out to our guy Dalton Pence. Got his first home. Good job, Dalton. I didn't get my first home until I was twice his age. So he was very, very blessed and very fortunate to be able to do something like that so young in life. Proud of you. He'll be joining us this week. When are we doing Live with 55 this week, Wes? Is it Wednesday?
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing a Wednesday because there's a game Tuesday.
Okay, so Tuesday we got Virginia Tech here at home, correct?
That's correct.
So we'll be going to be at the game, and we'll bring you our live thoughts on the Virginia Tech game Wednesday night, and we'll talk about the season finale because I don't believe there will be another Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. There won't be before the season finale where we host Boston College. We're going to have a CSZ podcast appreciation lunch. And then we're going to all go to the game together, except Higgy, because he likes to make us plan things and then whore us out and not do them. So excuse my language, Mom, if you're listening, but that was deserved and earned, not given. You know what? That's my motto. But we're going to have a good time at Bear Nose. Join us. Have a good time with us. Mention Cardinal Sports Zone sent you. It'll help us out in future sponsor manners. All right. And again, stay tuned to our social media and subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, even though we prefer you doing that on YouTube. It helps us out a little bit more. And also tune in for Live with 55 for any updates throughout the week. Wes, Higgy, and others will join me for those. Our guy Tanner has been amazing at producing those with us. He's everything that we thought Higgy was going to be, except for much, much smaller. So we appreciate it. Look, in my social media, great point, Jeremy _CSC. Y'all know where to find me. Make sure y'all stay subscribed, though. Last words, Shawn, we're going to go to you first. I've still got some big news to drop for y'all. So I'm gonna drop. That's going to be my last words, but I'm going to let you go first. Something you've never heard said in your life.
Everybody, let's just the season's almost over. Let's see if we can get a couple wins. There's still a possibility because we had Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech. Should have beat them. And we had Boston College at Boston College. We should have beat them. Let's go ahead, at least get these 2 wins, and then let's just see what happens after that. Just rely. Well, I'm not going to say that. That's Sam saying. Let's just
watch it. We don't like copyright. Yeah. We don't like gimmick infringement on the show.
No trademark infringement. So let's just relax. Let's just hope get what we want. Uneffing believable.
Whatever. Wild pitch. Bullpen woes continue. Wild pitch makes this game 9-2, top of the 8th. Youngstown State up to bat. Sam, what about you? Last words, brother.
Like our guest said, show up to the game because these revenue sports help build for the non-revenue sports. So you're not only hurting the basketball team, you're thinking you're hurting the basketball team, but you're kind of hurting your other non-revenue sports by not showing up at the Center. So show up to the Center. We got about 2 games left. Cheer on these guys. They're out getting better despite whatever that was yesterday. And have some fun, man. Go Cards, and let's see where the off season takes us.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you this much. Those guys came out after the game last night and signed all the kids' autographs, even though if I had lost a game the way they lost that game, I wouldn't have came out the locker room. So kudos to them for coming out. Just because I want to laugh a little bit, Higgy, go ahead and give your last thoughts real quick.
Just go Cards and support the guys more than anything.
Okay. I only understood 2 of the words because he was talking so fast. But look, we've been doing this show together. Higgy's been on the show with us probably about 4 years?
Yeah.
It's been like that. And I have told him from day one, if he would just slow down and stop getting so excited to say 80 words in a row, that he would do a lot better. That's my fault because we were at one point doing some practice, like not recorded practice, like stuff together. And we stopped doing that. I don't know why. Maybe he got busy. Maybe because I went into the hospital. I'm not sure, but we're going to get those. Because Higgy, honestly, he's funny intentionally and unintentionally. But if he could just slow down a little bit, I believe he would add a little bit more to the show. And we appreciate Higgy joining us every week or every other week, whatever, from Tennessee. Brandon Johnson says women's team is getting smacked on. What's the score, Sam?
68 to 54 right now. It's the inconsistency of the officials is ridiculous. They let Notre Dame get away with everything to where they build this insurmountable lead. Now they want to start to close it off. Like, I'll tell you, Hannah Hidalgo is a great player, but if you call the first 1 or 2 fouls on her early in the beginning, it calms her down with her physicalness because she's extremely physical on the perimeter. You would not be you should not be able to be this physical on the perimeter on defense, and she gets away with it 90% of the time.
Gotcha. Wes, your last words, my man.
Yeah, go Cards. Support the fellas in the last few games of the season. And let's get ready for some spring football.
Absolutely. Spring football on the horizon. Again, these basketball players will need your all support and love. Whether you like the coach or not, they need you all to be loud. There still was a great crowd last night. I mean, if you listen to any of the radio people, well, a majority of the radio people, they'll tell you nobody's showing up. It's quiet. There's nothing going on. But there were I don't know the exact numbers, but it felt like there were a lot of people there last night. And just support the team. All right. Now down to the big news. I was sitting there prior to the game, and our guy Tony from kysports.co come up and talked to me, and we had a really nice conversation. And he was letting me know that he applied for a Roku channel to put his content on.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy to announce that the first content that will be put on his Roku channel, it won't be live. It'll be what we're doing right now, but at a later date. The Cardinal Sports Zone podcast is the first officially announced partner and show that will be on the kysports.co Roku channel.
That's awesome, man.
That means not only will you be able to check us out on YouTube anytime you want or on our website anytime you want, you go to your TV, download the kysports.co Roku channel, and watch us in your home. We all know Shawn likes to watch TV from his bathroom on the floor sometimes. Higgy likes to watch it from his pantry. Wherever you've got a TV set up, you can watch it there. We're really happy to partner with Tony, and hopefully it was okay for me to say something because we agreed last night. He said it was going to start this week. So our premium subscriber RL Holt said that is not a lie. Well, probably not. I don't know what you're talking about, but we don't do that here. We sometimes you get unintentionally misled by me, but it's not on purpose. It's because I've been told something that is shifted in the wind. I am. You know what? I'm going to use this for just a second to say thank you to all the people that tweet me and call me an idiot or a clown because what I was told to relay didn't happen. Still appreciate y'all. Still got nothing but love for you all. Thanks for the exposure. Oh yeah. R.L. Holt says the women's officiating sucks, and yeah, that's
all officiating sucks.
well, yeah, that's true. Double play ends the inning. We are going to the bottom of the eighth, up 9-2. Cards over the Penguins of Youngstown State. 2 weeks left of the regular season. Weekly card. 2 weeks roughly. We might do 3 more. The Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, barring an unprecedented run to the ACC title. We will come to you bi-weekly or as needed if and when there is a coaching search as well as needed. Keep the notifications turned on for YouTube and Facebook, and you can subscribe to my tweets to keep up as well on Twitter. But I tweet a lot, so do that at your own risk. We hope you all enjoy this week. We hope it's a great week. It's always a good day to be a Cardinal. We all, at the end of the day, all we want is for the University of Louisville men's basketball team to return. We're not even asking to return to prominence. That would have been the 80s. We want it to be like how it was Rick's first 10 years here. That run we had from 03 to 13 can only be rivaled and matched by the run we had in the 80s. People act like it was all roses when Rick was here. Now, we had some down years while he was here too. And oh my God, once the calendar hit March, we farted a bunch of wins away. I hate to say that word, but we crapped a bunch of wins away in March. Every year we stumbled, every year for the most part. But we appreciate it, guys. Stay tuned in. Stay subscribed. Thanks again for all the love and support. Again, we love you all. Until next time, this has been the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I don't know what I'm doing now. Later, y'all.